I hope you're doing really, really well today. I am coming at you. This is going to be the start of my 2024 project pan. So I have decided that 2024 is going to be my wealthy girl era, my financial glow up. And one of the ways for me to do that is to not focus on beauty purchases or makeup purchases or other things. The truth is, I went through a huge declutter of my eyeshadow palettes, my lip products that were basically just like off and were not like they were never going to ever be good again. So I don't really need to buy anything this year. Now I'll replace my skincare as I need to, but even that I'm pretty well stocked. And this is the idea for me to make progress on these things for like, so I just have a bucket, a bag of things. This was actually a gift with purchase from Clinique, I think. No, it doesn't say Clinique, so it must be just like the Ulta brand. I'm going to focus on the products that are in here. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to exclusively use these products, but on most days, this is what I'll be using. So let's start with skincare. I got this from a BoxyCharm. This is kind of one of those, gimme products because I'm going to use it up pretty fast. It's the Elemis Rehydrating Ginseng Toner. It's 50 milliliters and I'm about halfway. You can see that. I'm going to go ahead and like weigh everything later off camera and I'll put it in the description box below if you're interested, but I don't want to take up a ton of time here doing that. I also got this from a BoxyCharm, the Kors Santorini Grape Poreless Skin Cream. There's not a ton in there. I think I'm about here. This is probably another one of those Give Me products. This is actually going to take a little bit of time to go through. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Pore Filler. So this is a primer. I usually tend to only use it from here to here, just like across this. I don't tend to need a ton. Ooh, and the chin. Like, so probably like the T-zone, but just this T, not my forehead. Foundation doesn't usually tend to like pill or come off on my forehead or most of my, just like this part of my cheeks. And usually that's because I have bigger pores here and here. And yeah, I just tend to, makeup just tends to kind of like, not stick, but like, you know what I mean? Like it tends to accentuate the pores there. So that's why. And then I am going to use my Halo Glow Liquid Filter. And this is pretty much full. On days where I just don't feel like wearing foundation, I'll wear this, but for the most part, I'll probably be utilizing this under my foundation. I know a lot of people hate it, but I actually really enjoy the really big, you'll see there, a really big doe foot, just because it has, that's a funny sound, because it really does have, like it makes the ease of application a little bit better, especially if, say, all my sponges are dirty and I just need to like blend it out with my fingers. That is good. This is about 1.06 fluid ounces, so 31.5 mils. It's like I said, runaway primer. I got my liquid glow filter in the shade, oh god, I can't read anymore. Mine's in shade 1, fair. So I never realized how fair my skin was until I moved to Oregon. When I used to be like, I'm a Latina, believe it or not, but I've lived in Oregon for like, I think a little bit more than 10 years now, and just there's no sun here, so there's nothing for my melanin to react to. I have melanin, it's in there, it's just not activated, you know. I need melanin powers, activate. But anyway, as long as we're on complexion products, like I said, I am very pale right now, and this actually does oxidize a little bit. This is the Good Apple Full Coverage Foundation in Light 21. It is just slightly too light for my current skin. Actually, I don't know if it's too light or if it's that I just have rosacea here, and so it does do a really good job of covering up the rosacea. I always do add some bronzer. I'm not going to focus on a bronzer in this project pan, but I do have one. So those are the complexion products. Now let's get into some color products. I'm going to try and pan this get pan in every single one of these. This is the Ace Beauté Grandiose palette. This is one of my oldest palettes. I think other than the Naked palette that I've already decluttered, this is probably the oldest palette in my collection. So I already have pan. You can see I just hit pan in Patchouli, which is like this all over sort of base. And then I've got a big pan in Clove. I'm actually using this as a transition shade and as a blush. And I have pan in Poppy. And I've actually been using Poppy as this really beautiful, like cold, frostbitten, like cold girl blush. It actually looks really, really nice. I am actually gonna try to use Rosé. This is more of like it's not a shimmer, but it's not a matte. It's one of those like sheeny colors. And I don't normally tend to love those, but I do like it. Cinnamon here I've actually been using as a bronzer, and I've been using it as bronzer and contour, and it's actually been working out pretty good. I thought it would be way too dark, but if I go in gently with like a blush brush or a not foundation brush, a bronzer brush, if I dip in real gentle and like I work it out, it works out. But I do have to have sort of a like non-sticky base when I do it, so I have to have applied my powder already, and I have a powder in here I'll show you in a minute. But the ones I still need to hit pan on are the Jasmine. This is a very light shimmer for like the inner corner, but what I've been doing is laying down this kind of like on the brow bone, and then doing a like the one I've been using as bronzer is called Cinnamon, and using Cinnamon as like to do like an even deeper crease to just create some depth, and then going over it with either Primrose or Myrtle, which are these two browns. One of the browns is very, very coppery. Myrtle is very, very coppery. Primrose is more of like a true brownish like gold. So there's only why I just had trouble like counting. Maybe I'm hungry. Like I said, I've been using Clove as a blush, so that's been really, really helpful as well. I think I'm pretty close to hitting pan on Jasmine, which is the really light shimmer. I am nowhere near hitting pan on Myrtle or Primrose, because those are just like, you don't need a ton of those. But I'm like gonna be, you know, in my office working, and I am gonna try and like elevate my look. So I'll probably be wearing a lot of like neutral makeup looks this year, with maybe like a pop of color on the cheeks or something like that. So that is where I am with that, and I'm hoping that I have pan and Jasmine by the next time, and then we'll be halfway there to getting that done. But I just really want to use as much of this as I can during this year, and then at the end of 2024 this will be leaving my collection because it's just too old. So, but I want to enjoy it as much as I can. The formula is still really good. I still really like it, but it's not necessarily my favorite thing in the whole world. I do think it's one of the most universal and like good palettes that I have. I love the Ace Beauté formula. I haven't gotten anything since their reformulation, but you know, really excited. Oh, I forgot the other complexion product I have, which is this is way too old. It's the Bare Minerals Bare Pro concealer in Fair Light Warm 02. And so you can see here, and that little nub is all that's left. However, I use this as my eyeshadow base, and it is like, I use it pretty much every single day, and this is the concealer that will not die. So I'm hoping by the time I talk to you guys again, that this will have gone on, have done things. The other thing I have is the Cover FX translucent light powder, and we're about halfway right there. So that is going to, you know, it be what it be. I don't necessarily think that I would get rid of it at the end of the year. I like the powder. Usually I don't apply just regular powder. What I'll do is I'll you know, get some out into the cap and then take a damp sponge and then sort of set makeup in that way. I don't really love going all over the face with just like dry powder. My skin is too dry for that. So this, however, I know will be done by the next time we talk to each other. This is the Becca Rose Quartz Highlighter. There's only a tiny bit in here. I scraped the edges. I don't know if I'm gonna be able, there's a little tiny mirror in there, but do you see that? That's all that's left. So I know this is another one of those gimme products. I know that I'll be done by the next time we talk about this. I'm very excited for it to be done. And I actually really love those little UFO minis. I decluttered a lot of my other highlighters from the Becca line because Becca's not a thing anymore. And which is sad. You can still get, I think, the champagne pop from Smashbox. Smashbox is the one that still carries them. But I never loved champagne pop, and I got a Bobbi Brown highlighter, and I still have a Bobbi Brown highlighter from an Icon box that I really love. And I also have the Samantha March. If you don't know who she is, she's a creator on YouTube and she is so cool and I love her. But she did a collaboration with Ofra like maybe 4 years ago. Like, I don't know, it's been a while. But I have like so many full highlighters, and that's like a pinky gold one and I love it. So I definitely don't need any more rose gold highlighters. Now this is like I said, the Kat Von D foundation is just a little too light sometimes. So this is something I got in an Ipsy bag. It's the Ciate Extraordinary BB Cream, and it is in shade, what shade is this in? It says it's PETA approved. It's in shade 88, but it doesn't like actually, in any case, it's slightly too dark for my skin. So when I mix it on, I put this up, I'll put a foundation. I'll put a half a pump of the KVD Vegan Beauty foundation, the Good Apple foundation, and then like a little dollop of this, and then kind of like mix it together. And that seems to be the correct color for me in the wintertime right now. So there's that. And if we go back to eyes, I also got this from an Icon box. It is the Pat McGrath Labs mascara, and it's Dark Star mascara. It is in black. It's called Extreme Black. I don't love this formula, but it's a full-size mascara and I already opened it and I don't want to be wasteful, so I got it. I forgot that Ipsy and BoxyCharm are not fully cruelty-free because Pat McGrath is not cruelty-free. So I got a couple of Pat McGrath like items and they're not vegan either. So I kind of struggled with this, but I was like, well, I didn't create the demand for the product. Like, I didn't go buy it and say, hey, I want this, so I'm voting with my dollar for that. Like, I didn't. So to me, being a vegan is doing like the least harm possible. And for me to get something that I unintentionally didn't want to, like, am I going to be more careful about that in the future? Yes. If I do subscribe to another makeup like subscription, it'll probably be a vegan only one, like Medusa's Makeup, or the one that's run by, oh my gosh, I can't remember her real name, but the actress who plays Luna Lovegood is a very very big advocate of veganism and for animals and animal rights, and she runs a subscription box that is fully vegan, and I cannot remember the name of it. I'll put it up here somewhere. And I'm so sorry, Luna, even though that's not your real name. In any case, let's just talk about the product itself. It is a very, I don't even want to say it's a wet mascara. It was very wet at first, but after, like most mascaras, you know that if you've opened it for a little bit, it does have an hourglass tip, and it has, it's a moist mascara, I'll put it that way. It is fine. It does have a tendency to transfer. I have to sort of sit there with my eyes open like this for a minute or two, just so that I don't get the like junk all, so I don't look like a raccoon, which I don't love that. There's $5 mascaras that don't do that, like Lash Princess from Essence doesn't do that. The roller lash from Elf, oh my gosh, I love that thing. But it's just like, I don't want to go out and buy another one when I already have one that, like, it's functional. It, you know, we make it work. We make things work. This is, again, not vegan, not cruelty free. This is from MAC, again, from one of the subscription boxes. However, I do really love this color. It's Soar by MAC, and it's pretty much the whole pencil, so I'll be working on that, getting the Chapstick Total Hydration Natural Lip Care and Fresh Citrus. This actually tastes like orange creamsicle, and I am here for it. Give Me products. This is a Perlice Blush Glow BB Cheek Color and vitamin E plus and vitamin E and hyaluronic acid. Wow, I cannot read. This is in the shade Cool Mauve. I'm gonna tell you, no, it's not. There's like no pigment to this. I'm not gonna use any right now. Well, you know what? I'll do a little tiny dab. I'll do a tiny dab. So like you can see, right? Like, see that little dark spot there? Okay, on my skin, there's like a sheen, but there's no color payoff to that. So you're like, well, then why are you using it, right? Here's the thing. It makes an excellent tacky base for the eyeshadows that I'm going to be using as blush. So for Clove, for Poppy, and for Rose here. Those are going to be my main blushes that I'm going to be working on. And this serves as such a great tacky base for them to sit on. However, it still lets them blend out over it. So it is like kind of that perfect combination. So even though it doesn't really, like, there's not a ton of pigment payoff. Now, if you are the fairest of the fair, if you're even lighter than me, like, but so much lighter, then yes, you might be able to get a cool toned mauve out of it. This is just a clear brow gel that I use to tame my brows. That's it. And it is True Trust Fund Beauty, and this was also from a subscription box from Ipsy. And then I have, this is going to be another one of those Give Me products. This is my e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow. You can see that it is teeny tiny amount. However, I don't use a ton of it when I do use it, because my eyebrows, I just really need to fill in this front here and then like get the tail. I got pretty bushy brows to begin with, so doing that. Now, the two funnest parts, highlighter and lip color. Highlighter, I'm gonna focus on trying to use up this entire Tarte Tartist Pro Glow to go. So you don't know, but I have almost finished this. This is Gleam, and I had used up all of the middle. I had a huge pan in it, and it was just getting really hard to use. So I went ahead and I repressed it there. So that's where we're starting. This one is called Burst. It's more of like a candlelit glow from within highlighter. It's not like super like, it's not like Gleam on the skin. This is, here we go. So Gleam's higher trying to see, higher up here. It's kind of hard to tell in this lighting because I don't have the best lighting downstairs. Just trust me that Gleam, the one that I repressed, is much shinier. It's much more like, I don't know, it just looks more like slickness, you know? And then Chisel is the contour. I am working on maybe doing some scrapings here and adding them to the, what I need to do is just get like a stir stick and slowly add some scrapings of this to the Kat Von, I always say Kat Von D, it's not Kat Von D anymore, KVD Vegan Beauty Good Apple foundation, because I think if I can add enough of scrapings into this but not too much. I did try a little bit of a test the other day, and what I might do is just try to find like a small like pot or something to put it in to do that, but I'm not exactly sure. And then this is one of my favorites. I don't necessarily have a ton of, I don't necessarily have a ton of this color of lip product, but it's one of my favorites. This is from Urban Decay, and that is the color. You see there, it's like this really pretty happy purple color, and it's called No Restraints. And I love that because I'm a Sagittarius, and I figure this is a Sagittarius in a lip color. It's loud, it's bold, it's fun, it's pretty, and I just love it, and it wears down so well. It's one of the Urban Decay. It's one of Urban Decay's lip gloss like stains, and it's supposed to be like a glossy stain that like stays, and it does. Once it dries down and it wears throughout the day, like I think I wore it the other day for at least like 7 hours, and by the end of the day it was lighter on the lips. It does tend to dry down a little bit, so you definitely want to wear like chapstick underneath. Usually what I'll do is at the beginning of my makeup routine, before I've even applied skincare, I'll moisturize my lips. And if my lips are really dry in the middle of winter, then I'll maybe like do an exfoliator and then moisturize. And then by the time I'm done, usually my lip product's the very last thing I apply. So by the time I'm applying it, my lips are ready and prepped for something that's going to dry down a little bit. But by the end of the day, it was sort of like, it was a little tiny bit uncomfortable, but I was already on my way home from work at that point, and I was like, there's no reason for me to do anything. I'll just let it wear off. But yeah, my lips did get a little dry. To be fair though, I drank almost no water that day, so it could have been that too. So any of those things. Lovelies, I hope you have an amazing day. Be fierce, be brave, and do everything and anything you want to do, and don't let anyone tell you different.